Superman 3, the third in what could be an endless series of adventures starring the mild-mannered reporter who turns into the Man of Steel. And in this adventure, Superman has a new friend and a new enemy. The friend is played by Richard Pryor. Is a computer programmer who's enlisted by the enemy, who's played by Robert Vaughn. And Vaughn's plan is to use an Earth satellite to change the world's weather and become a multi-billionaire by cornering the commodities market. In this scene, Vaughn uses computers to toy with Superman.
He's here. Good. Let's give him something to worry about. Now let's see. Tracking system's locked.
And here's Richard Pryor's own personal explanation of the Man of Steel.
This cape was flapping in the wind. He was flying. It was great. He was just flying around. The cape was blowing in the wind like this. It looked like a flag. And he landed right in the middle of this big plantation. Dun, 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 dun. Right? And he checked everything out, right, with his X-ray vision before he did that. And then he put these laser beams out of his eyes onto everything. Straight out laser beams. Dried up everything, just like that.
Richard Pryor is the best thing in Superman 3, maybe because we know Pryor's basic character so well. It's interesting to see how he reacts to being trapped inside a Superman movie. But the movie never does as much as it could with the relationship between Richard Pryor and Superman. Instead, it devotes most of its time to a series of stunts and spectacular special effects, like this scene near the beginning of the story.
Get me the number 3 ladder truck in here. It won't reach. My God, they're trapped. What's he gonna do? Climb down one at a time?
Well, that's fun. A lot of Superman 3 is fun, but this movie is more simple-minded than the other two Superman films. It all but ignores Superman's dual identity as Daily Planet reporter Clark Kent, and that was always fun in the first two films, that contrast between these two different kinds of characters. And this movie gives Superman a little love interest with Annette O'Toole, but oddly enough, their love affair is pretty standard. It could happen between any two people. It doesn't depend upon the fact that Clark Kent is Superman. Superman 3 doesn't have the human touch of the first two movies. It doesn't have the interest in what a person would be like if he were invincible or nearly invincible. And Superman 3, well, it's well made, it's entertaining, but it's got too many stunts and it's just not quite special.
I like it even less than you did. It does something I didn't think a Superman movie could ever do for me, and that is bore me. This movie is missing a great love affair. That's what the first two pictures had. Interesting love affairs. Clark and Lois. Superman and Lois. Marvelous stuff. Here, that little love story with Lana Lang and the hometown girl and Clark, and that should have been the back half of the movie. Instead, as you say, more stunts. Richard Pryor, wasted here. He's a goody-goody guy, not real evil.
I was disappointed. I think that Richard Pryor is always best in the movies when he's anarchic, when he's an enemy of the establishment, when he's an outsider, stirring things up. And here, he's a nice little guy. You pat him on the head, he's a schmo, he's Superman's pal. child, don't drop me, Superman. He's too nice in this movie. He ought to get in there and really mess things up.
Ever since his accident, he's been playing nicer and nicer guys. I want him to be real evil. Agreed that Superman 3 is the weakest of the 3 Superman movies. Neither one of us can recommend you see it.